Oh, yes. I thought I should find out about this Yugoslavia after the four. 97, the Kosovo Liberation Army, a rebel group seeked independence for Kosovo. Yes. They attacked Serbian police stations and vehicles in early 1998. Serbian forces attacked Kosovo. Later that year, the North Atlantic Treaty Organization, known as NATO, they tried to arrange a ceasefire, but fighting between Serbia and the rebels continued. In 1998, Serbian forces launched a campaign against Kosovo's Albanians. And then in 1999, NATO sponsored peace talks to a plan of representatives. Yeah. Now, this whole concept of the United Nations sent officials to serve as a temporary regional government. Yeah. In June of 1999, Serbian leaders agreed to withdraw their troops from Kosovo. NATO stopped the bombing and sent an international peacekeeping force to Kosovo. And then many of the refugees returned to Kosovo, but tensions were very high between the Serbs and Albanians. Despite the presence of peacekeepers, the tensions frequently erupted in violence. In 2000, local elections were held in Kosovo for the first time since the end of the fighting. Now, Yugoslavia changed its name to Serbia and Montenegro in 2003. Yes. This Yugoslavia, yes. It seems that it was very involved in this whole concept of, let's see, Yugoslavia became a federal state and with 6 republics. Yeah. Bosnia, Croatia, Macedonia, Montenegro, Serbia, and Slovenia. Kosovo became at first an autonomous self-governing region. Yeah. Uh, a Republic of Serbia. Now, why exactly was the United States military involved in Kosovo? They were involved in NATO. Oh, I was just looking at NATO. Now, we have a little problem in the United States, right? We actually did go there in 2000, and Kosovo was not a nation at that time. Now, Yugoslavia, yeah, it was really something, wasn't it? The Serbians fighting the Albanians, and for some reason, I was a missionary to Albania. Oh, now this United Nations marriage certificate, why do we have that? Why was the United Nations sent to serve as a temporary regional government of the not yet government of Kosovo? Yes. Now, I would have thought that some army generals would have been concerned about this. Oh. Now, Kosovo, yes. Kosovo's head of government, assemblies of one house legislature, 120 delegates. Yeah. The country's highest judicial body is the Kosovo Supreme Court. Yeah. How is the Kosovo Supreme Court? Well, we were married there. Were there any other persons married in Kosovo in, well, 2000 when the United Nations was asked to be the regional government? Kosovo. People Kosovo in 2008, Kosovo declared its independence from Serbia. Yeah. 8 years after we were there for the marriage, where the United Nations issued the marriage certificate. Yeah. There was no one else married. I think we have some conspirators that don't really understand why we have a military. Now listen, Sheriff. I think that the United States military has no strength because you, as a county, don't really understand why we had a United Nations marriage certificate. And when you decided to dissolve the marriage, yes, you don't understand why the United Nations was there. Oh. If I was to call the Department of Defense and ask them, well, why did NATO decide to get involved in early 1999? Yes, in these peace talks between the Albanians, the Kosovo Albanians, and the Serbians. Yes, yes. It's one of those where you can dissolve any document from any nation, but can you dissolve a document from a non-governmental organization? Is it treason? Is it treason to violate international peacekeeping agreements? The United Nations sent officials to serve as a temporary regional government. Now, Judge Rohr, I told you, yes, that you did not have the actual authority to dissolve the marriage. In February 17th of 2008, Kosovo declared its independence from Serbia. Oh, plans called for an EU governing staff to take over the duties of the temporary United Nations government later that year. The Serbian government has refused to recognize the independence of Kosovo. Ooh. Member nations of the EU and the United Nations were divided over Kosovo's actions. Such countries as China, Russia, and Spain have refused to recognize Kosovo's independence. Yes. France, Germany, United Kingdom, and the United States are some of the nations that have agreed to recognize Kosovo as an independent republic. Now, the United States decided that they would recognize Kosovo as an independent republic. Is there a constitution of Kosovo? Well, what happens when the United States recognizes another nation as being an independent republic? And then they find out, well, we're not going to support and defend the Constitution. We're not going to support and defend that nation. Now, I said it's against the law to dissolve a United Nations marriage. Yes. I just wanted to know, in the United States Army, yes, is it Army strong to dissolve the United Nations? Oh, looks like we have some co-conspirators. See, I'm not using drugs. I do know where I got married. Yeah. I do know who I did marry. Oh, I do know what you've done as a judiciary. And these international agreements where some nations acknowledge Kosovo, yes, at least in 2008. I'm absolutely sure, Judge, yes, that your refusal to acknowledge the international agreements of this great nation doesn't just mean that I can sue you as a county. I could sue the state of Washington for allowing for Commissioner Brent. Now, it seems that the states of the United States that don't support and defend the 13th and 14th Amendment might have forgotten that the United States Army is a national army. And removing the strength of this great nation means that I can actually sue each and every state of the